This is about as easy as it gets. This is the sort of soup that you make when the kids are coming home from school any second. Okay, here we go. We start off with a clean pot. Well, a pot anyway. And I like butter. I know, I've read all the articles about butter. And you're going to need some bouillon, chicken bouillon. Use your own brand. I happen to be using this brand. Now, about onions. You either like onions in your chicken soup or you don't. If you don't like it, don't put it in. But there is the leftover chicken. And what we're going to do, we're going to cut it up in sort of bite-sized pieces. And here are the secret ingredients. Number one, we're going to use a yellow coloring in the soup. Because I got to tell you, a lot of times you make soup and the color is so bland you don't really want to eat it. In my case, of course, I melt some butter in the pan, and then I add the onions. As I said before, I happen to like onions. Along with the onions, I like to add some thyme, and I clarify it. I guess that's what I call it. In the meantime, I add some hot water to my bouillon, whatever it is. In Jamaica, you'd use I forgot the brand, but Grace Products make this fantastic soup mix that you would use. Anyway, there it is. It's all mixed up. Once your onions are clarified, of course, you simply add the soup mixture that you mix up with the bouillon in with it. And that's about it, really. Except, in my case, I like to add potatoes. Now, I'll tell you why I add potatoes. Because it gives the soup some body. So I get some potatoes and I cut it up and I add the potatoes. Notice that I'm not going to add the leftover chicken just yet. Once I add the potatoes in and into the soup mixture, I allowed it to boil for about 30 minutes because potatoes will take about 30 minutes to cook. Once that's done, and the last 13 minutes or so, 14 minutes, depends on what noodle you're going to be using, I will add, in this particular case, of course, I'm using a noodle that requires 10 to 12 minutes to cook. So, in the last 13 minutes or so, what I'll do is I will add the noodles to the soup mixture, you know, where the potatoes and soup have been cooking. I'll add it to that mixture, about 13 minutes to go, and that is what I will do. Like I said, what noodles, the time to add the noodles will depend on how long it will take the noodles to cook. Some noodles would only take about 6 minutes or so. Anyway, in this case, 13 minutes into when I have 13 minutes left to cook the soup, I will add the noodles and I will add the chicken at this time. Mix it well. As I said, about 13 minutes left to cook. Now notice the coloring of the soup. It's okay, but I want to add some color to it. So what I do then is I'll use, remember the coloring I showed you earlier? I will add some of that coloring to the soup. Now notice the progression of the soup as I add the coloring. It'll get more yellow, right? I add the coloring a little bit. Here I added maybe about a quarter teaspoon. And you see it's beginning to have some color to the soup so far. But in my case, I didn't think it had enough color, so I added some more. This is all a matter of taste and aesthetics. Depends on how you like your soup. The point is, you have to present the soup to the kids in a way that'll make them want to eat it. It's really delicious because you added all your own personal seasoning to the soup. In the end, of course, I thought the soup should have been more colorful, I guess is the word, and I added some more color. Sort of got carried away, didn't I? Anyway, I added more color to the soup, and I think maybe this time around I did overdo it a bit. In the end, this is what my soup looked like. What do you think? So, they had soup and crackers on this cold, dreary, rainy day.